I was almost a victim of sex trafficking. This story means a lot to me, and there's so much I would like to share. So please, just listen.
What are you wearing?
I looked down at my shorts. They weren't that bad, but since I had gained some weight, my mother started to sexualize me and my clothing at a young age. My mother and I never really got along. We fought almost every day during my senior year of high school. I remember this last little complaint from my mother being the last straw for me. I told her, "Mom, I am not changing." All hell broke loose. Next thing I know, she tells me to leave and that I am not going to have such a great life. Great. My mother kicks me out right before I graduate. And my family is not the type of typical family. There's pain and broken trust and lies in my family. So for some weeks, I am homeless. Luckily, I still had a job at Jimmy John's and I had a loving coworkers who were there for me when I needed help. I would sleep on the couch of my coworkers until I could not do that anymore. Then I would sleep at hotels until one day my great aunt invited me to live with her. My great aunt was strict. She did not want me to lay around her home. Not unless I was paying a bill or two. Unfortunately, I lost my job at Jimmy John's. I did not live as close to Jimmy John's as I did before. My great aunt pressured me into looking for jobs. She would threaten to send me back to my mother or out of her house, period. Even though my mental health was taking a hit due to all of these traumatic moments hitting me all at once. This caused me to feel desperate. I was itching for a way to survive. At least that's what it felt. Who could that be? Uh, my childhood best friend? Wait, I thought there were rumors of her becoming an exotic dancer. And she also had a baby. I opened Snapchat and clicked through my old friend's story before opening her message. We'll call my friend Tiana. She is about the same age as me at the time, maybe 1 or 2 years older. Tiana was an exotic dancer and she did have a baby. I had an idea. Being 18 and naive, I thought, well, she became an exotic dancer and she looks well off. Maybe she could help me become an exotic dancer to raise money, and I won't have to be homeless and worry about my future. We decided to get together to hang out. The first couple of times me and Tiana hung out, everything seemed normal. Well, at the time it seemed normal. You see, I had just turned 18 and I did not have the proper upbringing or proper feminine training to know what is not normal and what is normal. I did not know it was not normal to go out to clubs late night, downtown in provocative clothing in public. Yes, I did this when we were hanging out and looking for clubs for us to be hired at. She purposely took me to these locations where she knew they would reject us for being too young. When I look back at the situation, I believe she was showcasing me off to someone. Some time passes. Thankfully, I was able to find a job as a hostess at a Red Lobster. Fast forward to the night it happened. Tiana had invited me out for her birthday party. She asked me to wear all white because other girls that she invited, including herself, would be wearing all white. I did not know what wearing all white meant at first, but wearing all white is a symbol of purity. I agreed and she decided to pick me up. At first, I didn't notice that she was wearing all black, and I did not question why there weren't any other girls in the car. She handed me a bottle of tequila. I started to drink. She then passed me a blunt. I also took a hit. And another. And another. Next thing you know, my head felt like it was spinning. During this horrible experience of bad decision making, she took me to her sister's to pick up her baby. It is really dark and it is getting a bit late now. Tiana turns into this neighborhood. There are barely any streetlights on. There are one or two streetlights flickering. I see a light coming from inside this townhouse looking home. I see a man in a hoodie walking inside this building. Tiana stops in front of the building. I ask her if I could use the bathroom. Her tone is a bit more serious now, and I am sort of confused, but I am not alarmed. She says, "Hold on," and calls her sister for permission for me to use the restroom. Tiana tells me to hurry up, and I quickly leave the car and slowly stumble into the building. The building looked like a trap house, a place where bad things happen. I looked around to see no furniture, only a couch, and I looked to the back of the living room. I see that there are glass bottles, the kind of glass bottles that you would see in a lab. Again, being 18 and naive, I did not find any of this alarming, and I was also intoxicated. I was focused on peeing. As I got to the bathroom, I see that it is also in bad shape. A running faucet, the tiles on the wall look bashed in some areas. As I was using the restroom, I turned my head to the side. I noticed a little splatter. It was red. Was it blood? It was next to a small bottle of Johnson baby shampoo. Something is wrong. I got up and flushed the toilet. As I was about to leave the bathroom, I heard tumbling and rustling like someone fell down the stairs. I then heard a girl whimper out in pain and a man say, "I am sick of y'all." Something told me to wait before coming out of the bathroom. I waited. I took a deep breath. I slowly opened the door to walk out the bathroom. There was a girl. She was also wearing white. She was putting the baby into the car seat, but this image is something I would never forget. Her shoulder. It appeared to be badly injured, but when I asked, she said, "I'm fine." I didn't even look back at her. I just quickly walked towards the baby. I looked down at the baby. The baby was not looking at me directly. The baby also had a knot on her forehead that looked almost green. I quickly picked up the car seat, and my instincts immediately told me to turn around. There was a man. He wasn't facing towards me, but he was tall and bald. I asked, "Is this everything?" Silence. He wouldn't face me. I quickly turned towards the door. The same little girl in the white dress from before tried to stop me. "Wait, let me put her pants on." "We could do that in the car." As I walked towards the door, it's like time had split in two. My vision felt like it crossed. It felt like my timeline was being switched or something. Tiana's sister was out by the car. I wanted to tell Tiana about her baby immediately, but I urged that we just leave. She agreed, and I quickly got into the car. Tiana then handed me a Red Bull. We had gone to the gas station before coming to her sister's. "Here's your drink." As I went to take a sip from my Red Bull, all I could taste was bubbles. My eyes slightly widened, and I slowly spat the bubbles into the can, acting as if I took a sip. "She drugged my drink?" Tiana quickly sped off, and during the ride home, this is what I did to try to survive while also fighting off the small side effects of being drugged. First, I remained calm. Second, I emphasized. I told her about the knot on her baby. I told her about her worth and that she could change, and I could even give her resources. She told me with tears falling down her cheeks she would never stop stripping. Third of all, I called someone, but I pretended that they called me. I called my great aunt and faked as if she called me and asked me to come home. But when I called my great aunt, it was as if she was coherent. I guess some people are hard to wake up. The fourth thing that I did was try to get back into the area that I was familiar with. Side note, we are being followed by 2 or 3 other cars at this point. I put my great aunt's address on my phone and I told her to follow my address home or else I would get out of the car and scream for help. This was a scare tactic. It worked. And she followed my GPS to my great aunt's. Throughout the trip, I started to feel tingles on my body. It was starting to feel like needles almost. I made sure to stay strong and be aware. I needed time to think, so I asked Tiana to pull into a convenience store across from the Red Lobster where I worked. She told me to hurry up as I got out of the car. I quickly walked into the convenience store. Breathing heavily, I looked up and saw a van pull into the other side of the convenience store. What do I do? I think to myself. I turn around as I hear the convenience store door open. There walked in my 2 coworkers. My coworkers from Red Lobster just walked in. I quickly walked up to them and tell them to act normal. I begged them to help me to leave. As we leave the convenience store, Tiana rolls down her window. "Aw, you aren't coming with me?" "No." Me and my coworkers leave. We start to drive around for a while as I cry and explain to them what happened. We drive around for a while because we notice that some cars are following us. I eventually made it inside my great aunt's house, traumatized yet safe. It's been 3 years since that incident. I'm in college now, majoring in mass communications. I'm safe. Things could have turned out very differently for me. But my message to those who are out there listening to this is that knowledge is power. Please inform yourself on the human trafficking. According to UNODC.org, human trafficking is driven by conflict and persecution, poverty and political instability, lack of access to education and jobs, migration and displacement, gender equality and discrimination, natural disasters, and climate change all create conditions that fuel human trafficking. Remember, traffickers can also be anyone. Please visit UNODC.org to learn more about human trafficking.